Hi, in this video I'm responding to X-Finks, his video called Desteni Fabrications, and it's a series of videos. And I would like to talk about the various fears and implications that I'm seeing that he and others have responded with to what this group called Desteni stands for, promotes and applies to daily living. So first of all, when I watched your video, I could see that you were emotionally charged, that you were getting more and more upset throughout the series of videos that you were making. And in the beginning, you reveal yourself that you've had bad experiences with so-called spiritual work. And I can understand that. I have years and years under my belt of having done everything from Tibetan Buddhism to channeling to meditation to reading spiritual books to studying Sanskrit to going on retreats. So I feel that I'm in the position to see or have a very good perspective on why the so-called spiritual work or light work doesn't change the world. It will not improve the situation of the world. And first I shall preface that from my perspective, and I would imagine from the perspective of all those people who are currently starving, who are currently abused, who are currently suffering in the world, and including the animals, that the world as a whole has to change. And that it's inevitable that the world as a whole means everybody in the world has to come together on a common point to make changes that affect everyone and create an environment, a living situation, an existence that is equal, where everybody's basic needs are met and where every being on this planet can live a life in dignity. So if this is the situation, if this is what we're wanting to do, now we can look at what the spiritual world is offering us, those people who are pursuing the light and various meditational practices, or people who are interested in striving for enlightenment. We can look at that, and we can look at where it has gotten us so far. And then we can look at what Desteni is promoting and applying to daily living, which hasn't been in the world thus far. This is a new perspective. This is a new way forward. So we have to keep this in mind as well. So going back to the, I'm just going to call them spiritual world, and I will lump them all together here, because of their effectiveness, or ineffectiveness rather, I will lump them together. So if we look at the various spiritual practices, such as Eastern practices, or even religion, I mean any religion really, and we look at the current light workers, or the people who are interested in using the law of attraction, in using light energy to create a better place for themselves, then we can clearly see that all those practices, in fact, all those practices are divorced from reality. And it is I'm in amazement sometimes when I see people refusing to take a close look at the principles of equality and what is best for all, when they are in actuality will accept that there is another dimension that they cannot see, they cannot fathom, they have no access to except through their imagination, but they will be convinced and strive for that and live in complete denial of what is happening in the world around them. So this is something we have to bear in mind, that people who are working with the light and with spiritual entities, that it is not a physical instantiation. It doesn't have a relation in the physical world. You cannot eat light. You cannot feed others through light. And generally, if you're an honest person, and I'm not even talking about self-honesty, I'm just talking about honest in what you're experiencing, then you will have to say that no matter how much light you are attaining, or how many dimensional shifts you are going through, you will still have to deal with your emotions. You will still be triggered through circumstances, people, and your daily living. You're still swaying from a negative emotion to a positive emotion. And so what is actually changing in your life is very little in the end.